How do you commit the perfect crime? Well, watch movies, of course, on Film Threat Reviews. Hi, I'm Alan Ng. I was Zorianna Kit, and today we're reviewing Sheep Without a Shepherd. It's a thriller from China. Desperate measures are taken by a man who tries to save his family from the dark side of the law after they commit an unexpected crime. It's directed by Quah, stars Yang Xiao, Zhuo and Joan Chen. I really like this movie. It opens with a cinephile, a regular guy, average day guy who just loves movies. And he himself wants to make movies, wants to feel like that he can contribute to the creative process. And so he goes around telling stories to all his friends until his family commits a murder, in fact. And he has to use all his knowledge of movies to protect his family. What did you think of Sheep Without a Shepherd?
Well, this guy, spends all day at work. He owns owns a internet business or Wi-Fi. He fixes Wi-Fi, but he watches movies all day. And so kind of made me think of like, well, that's what Kevin Smith did. And then he grew up to do Clerks and became a filmmaker. And then, Quentin Tarantino grew up watching, all sorts of movies. And he's like the ultimate cinephile. But, none of those don't have family members that, commit involuntary manslaughter. And then you have to use your movie knowledge to make sure that your entire family doesn't get arrested and thrown in jail for the crime in an Asian country where the laws are totally different.
Oh my gosh. I just kept thinking, man, this is not America.
Yes. Yeah.
Even your 8-year-old daughter can accidentally testify against you.
Yes, exactly. But on just to get back to the review on a more serious note, this movie is so unique and so interesting. And I was not banking on it to be so enjoyable. I kind of procrastinated watching it. And then I finally sat down and man, I was just like sitting on the edge of my seat because the movie has actually a lot of very kind of topical subject matters. We deal with sexual assault in here. We deal with police corruption. We deal with a lot of mayhem that surrounds like the time period leading up to an election. So there are a lot of areas that that transcend language, transcend borders, transcend countries. And that's one of the reasons that I think people will really enjoy this movie, because it's not so culturally specific in that regard. It's much more universal on that level. But it also shows what great lengths a family, and now we're talking about two families here, what lengths they will go to either protect their family or to perhaps avenge their family, avenge their child who has been murdered. And by that I mean we've got the family of our cinephile, and he is doing everything he can to prevent them from being caught for this murder, and using his movie knowledge to do that. And they're a lower class family. And so you do have some class issues here, because on the flip side is a rapist who is killed by this family when they find out that he assaulted their daughter.
And we should mention that the son, the person who was murdered, the rapist, is the son of the town's police chief.
Yes.
And the father is a sitting senator who's running for town mayor.
So we have a very powerful family and a very lower class family, and both of them are trying to avenge or protect their child, and they both will go to great lengths to protect that, which means one of them has to lose. One side has to lose. Something has to give.
Yeah. Okay. So what I liked, that first half is the cover up, is the father now trying to create an alibi for the entire family of how they weren't anywhere near. Basically, the son went missing, and to prove that they were nowhere in town while the son was missing. And it's a very complex cover-up, schemed by this one man. And then he knew enough, because he saw so many movies, that ultimately the suspicion is going to be on them. And so he teaches everyone, the wife, the teenage daughter, and the 8-year-old, how to get through a police interrogation and get away with it. And to me, this is a thrill. This should be an American thriller. I don't know why we haven't stolen this yet. But,
I hope we don't, because we'll butcher it if we do.
Yeah.
So
it's like Parasite. I would hate to see an American version of Parasite.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. And so yes, so you to a certain extent you do kind of have to suspend your disbelief that you could actually do this. I don't think I've ever used any movie knowledge, good or bad. I can't say I saved someone's life or did something extraordinary or something terrible because I saw something in a movie. I'd have to watch something 10,000 times in order to have that stay in my brain. But so you do have to kind of suspend that disbelief, and you have to suspend your disbelief when the police chief, decides to go through all the movies that
he they literally go through his movie history and find the exact movie that he based his cover-up on.
But you know what, despite having to suspend that disbelief, it's actually very easy to do so. Like you don't feel like oh my God, and what, really? No, you really do go along with that, and you're fully invested in this, and it works, and it's really amusing.
It helps that the lead character is so charismatic and so likable.
Yes.
Okay, so you're willing to not only are you willing to suspend disbelief, but you're rooting for him at this point.
Oh my gosh, yes. But you know what? We're rooting for him since the get-go, because he's introduced to us as someone to root for because of the local loser policeman that's like bugging him all the time. Like we already know that this is the guy we want to win, which is why the ending. Okay, so there's an ending to this film that is like movie worthy, like the types of movies this guy watches. And you're watching this unfold, and you're just like, the camera's in slow motion, it's raining, everyone's there, there's the big reveal, and you're just like on the edge of your seat, and then you see the reveal and you just didn't see it coming, and you're blown away, and you're like, yes, and I can't believe this happened. And you think the movie's gonna end. And that's where it should end. And then there's like this secondary ending.
Yeah.
And it goes against everything that the characters worked for the entire movie. Like, why would you go through all of that and then just do that? And it was such a bummer, because I just loved this movie. I was like, this is gonna be a 9. This is gonna be way up there. And I was like, what, can't we just snip that off? Like, keep that off on the editing room floor. There's a great ending already.
Yeah, you know what? I actually liked that secondary ending.
Why?
You know what? Because this is the tough thing, because we cannot say a single thing about it. But other than the fact that if it had cut off where you wanted it to cut off, it would have been a very cinematic movie ending. But when they kept it going, it became a very human ending. It became an idea of redemption. It became an idea of morality, of ultimately, getting out of the cinematic world where there's shades of gray and you can get away with things, but coming down to the fact that someone did die, and there was a family involved, and I think that I found admiration and appreciation specifically for that ending.
Maybe that's why it was put there, and I certainly understand that. But the movie opened with big cinema style fantasy.
In fact, when you watch the movie, there are moments of very cinematic moments. The slow pan, You know, the rain, the slow drip drops of the rain, and the, you know, it's all there. It's all meant to be this big cinematic feature for a very small film about an average guy. I found that incredibly great choices by the director.
Yes, and I wanted it to end on that same cinematic note, because it just made me go, why did I watch this entire film, buy into everything, suspended my disbelief, and the characters did exactly what they would have and should have, and what we wanted them to have done in a big cinematic movie. And then all of a sudden they go and do some moral
they did the right thing, and
they did the right thing. What?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I you know, I get it. I'm still of this world that maybe somewhere people are going to start doing the right thing, and
do it, start it, just not in this movie. Start it, do it with another film, not this one.
Okay, so if you don't like that, just end the movie about 5 minutes early.
Yeah, that's it.
And you'll be great. Okay, so clearly you had a great time. You love the idea, the conceit of the film. It caught you by surprise, definitely. Other than the ending, I'm gonna say you gave it an 8.5.
I gave it an 8.5, and as you know, it would have been a 9 if the ending was just chopped up like 10 minutes. Just take off that 10 minutes at the end. Would have been a 9. I do think you loved it. I mean, because you loved everything, including the ending that I didn't. You probably did give it a 9.
I gave it an 8.5.
Okay.
You know, and you know, I think, you know, the ending I did like. You know, to me that I think that's what elevated from an 8 to 9. Yeah, you know, it's a crazy film, and you know, the whole interrogation of the 8-year-old is just ingrained in my mind. It's, you know, it's like, you cannot do this in America. But
no, it was terrible. I mean, it was scary. It was disturbing. And Joan Chen as the police chief was incredible. She was intense.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, definitely go see it. You know, because of the pandemic, we've not had a lot of good thrillers come out. This is one to see it. You got to read it, which you should get over and just read a movie, for crying out loud. Just do it.
And please, when you do see it, comment below on which ending you like, the one that I preferred, or the one that this one,
or the actual ending of the movie,
or the actual ending that Alan preferred. But comment below,
absolutely,
and let us know which one you wanted, the cinematic ending or the high morality ending.
So with that, let's get out of here.